Here, just checking up on y'all. Um, check this out. You remember that the guy Purdy that I said shot, like I would say center mass of where they were in Minneapolis. The guy was just trying to defend a woman, and he wasn't even he didn't even do anything wrong at that particular time. He was just defending a woman who was being pushed by an ICE agent. You remember that guy. So the guy that they took the gun away from them, the guy that got shot, the guy that they that ICE was screaming, "Where's the gun? Where's the gun? Where's the gun?" You knew where the gun was because you took it away from him. Well, these clowns were taking unpaid, were taking paid leave off. Paid leave off. 3 days of paid leave off. Typical. Typical, right? And so when they return, they get they get desk duty. If it were up to me, I would have taken their jobs and their bonds if it were up to me. But it seems like this world has gotten stranger and stranger and stranger and stranger. And there are a lot of delusional Trump supporters. And I figured out why these people are delusional Trump supporters. They are prejudiced Trump supporters. You know how when you know how when the Germans, hate the Jews, and if you bought from the Jews, you are a traitor, right? Well, it seems like to me that these immigrants that they keep talking about, that they don't have no disdain for, and they didn't have a voice then. Now that Trump is the face, remember when I said that Trump is the face of the White House. He is the face of the presidency. He often People now often are acting prejudiced towards people who don't look like them, don't sound like them, English wise. Um, if you don't speak American, quote unquote, so to speak, um, you're not an American. You're not this, you're not that. You're very that's to me, that's very, very prejudiced. Immigrants have want nothing to do with you. They come here, they work, they mind their own business, they mind their own affairs. You want to say something to them, but you couldn't under Joe Biden. Now that Trump is the face, remember the face, um, you can say and do whatever you want out of ignorance, which is quite sad and quite sick. I thought this was America, land of the free, home of the brave. I guess that's a bunch of bullshit. Anyway, speaking of free speech, oh boy, since I can't have the office right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and play this little clip of your favorite newscaster, ex-newscaster, really giving her free speech about Purdy, the guy that they shot. Excuse me if I butchered the guy's name. The guy that they shot, center mass, like That's no defense whatsoever. But by the way, people often ask me, why are you defending a white guy? I said, well, as a black man, I can see myself in his position. I can see myself defending my own, didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong. People say, and you can scream rip rest in peace Charlie Kirk in the chat all you want. I don't know who that fool was. But anyway, uh, I'm just sitting there minding my own business. And pretty much I get tackled by 6 ICE agents. And the next thing you know, I got shot. That's crazy. That is crazy work to me. But you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out how it feels. Each and every single one of you who praise Trump's name, you're gonna find out how it is to be in this guy's position. You're gonna find out one day what it feels like to be in Renee's position. All right, but back to this. Your favorite girl is agreeing with you all. Is agreeing with with what happened that day. Without further ado, let's see what she done.
And then shot 9 times. And this is what she has to say about it.
I know I'm supposed to feel sorry for Alex Preddy, but I don't. I don't. Do you know why I wasn't shot by Border Patrol this weekend? Because I kept my ass inside and out of their operations. It's very simple. If I felt strongly enough about something the government was doing that I would go out and protest, I would do it peacefully on the sidewalk without interfering, via a whistle, via shouting, via my body, via any other way. I would make my objections known by standing there without interfering, because interfering is where you go south. And laying hands on a police officer trying to, or Border Patrol officer or ICE officer trying to conduct a law enforcement operation is a felony. And now you are going to get arrested. And if you do anything that resembles resisting, you're in serious trouble. Does it?
Okay. This coming from a woman that supports a movement that had a violent insurrection on January 6th, where cops were beat up and killed. This coming from a woman that whitewashes, as a lot of white evangelicals do, the age of consent, and somehow making the age of these girls that Jeffrey Epstein raped at 14 or 15 some sort of loophole that they weren't technically children. She has millions and millions of views. But I can tell you from personal experience, this type of, I don't care because it didn't affect me and my family, is ubiquitous in white evangelical circles. This craven lack of empathy and lack of humanity is something in which these types of groups take immense pride. They take pride in having this type of position. The moral duplicity. We support the police. We support Jesus. We support America, rah, rah. And then when it's somebody who opposes them politically, they're fine with them getting executed.
Well, and here's the thing. I grew up in that.
So, you should be proud. You should be proud that, and I'm talking to these delusional Trump supporters, you should be proud for Meghan. You should be proud for Meghan. Because of her way of twisting, not only twisting what happened as far as the incident is concerned, she is good, and it causes ratings for her. It causes good ratings, good ratings, and people cheer this woman on. I mean, you should feel mighty proud. But when it flips on your head, I want you, Trump supporters, whenever it happens to you, right? Don't cry. Laugh. I want you to laugh. Right? It's on it's the way of life, right? When Megyn Kelly says these things, especially going off of the, on the Epstein situation and how kind of sus that was. I mean, it was very sus indeed. You should feel proud. But like I said, when it happens to you, I don't want you to cry. I don't want you to fuss. I don't want you to complain. I want you to laugh. I want you to laugh because I want you to feel like to be in this guy's position. Guy minding his own business. He sees a woman being pushed in ice. Because I know it was cold that day and it was very icy out. Imagine me pushing your daughter in a sheet of ice. And then you get pepper spray. And this is the reason why they said that he ain't touched no cop. He was getting pepper sprayed. So if you get pepper sprayed and they tackle you to the ground, how do you think I'm going to react? How the hell do you think I'm going to react? So like I said, he gets pepper sprayed, then he gets tackled. My reaction when I see the pepper spray coming in my eye, what's my reaction? I'm going to, I don't even know why they're calling me. I'm going to do this. My hand is going to touch his hand. That's my reaction because I'm getting sprayed with pepper spray. And then I get tackled to the ground. I get tackled to the ground and I'm defenseless. I'm defenseless at that point. And this is the reason why I was talking to this no good white ass kissing in the military ass Negro. I asked him, was the shooting justified? Yes or no? I'm not going to answer that question because I wasn't there. I was not there. Okay, all right, cool. I had to look at the tape of that. Everybody looked at the damn tape. Everybody's looked at it. I looked at it. You looked at it. The goddamn FBI done looked at it. The Klansman looked at it. The ice cream man looked at it. The pizza man looked at it. People working at Walmart looked at it. Everybody's looked at it. Was it justifiable? Yes or no? Watch this. Chat. In one question, and it's an answer of yes or no. Was the shooting justifiable? Yes or no? I'm going to be silent for 10 seconds. People know how to answer questions. They don't go on a diatribe. They don't go on. It's just like my wife. Sometimes, sometimes when we go into Disney World or Disneyland or Disney World, whichever one, I don't know which one is which, but She wants me to take a detour. I mean, we can go just straight, even though it's construction. We just need to go straight. No, she wants to go here, 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 here. No, we gotta go straight. This Negro wants to go curve and wants to talk about his accomplishments and blah 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 blah. No, was the shooting just a? You can't tell me what to think. I served in the military. We were all one with the American flag. I don't care if you were Mexican, Asian, Blackican, Whiteacan. We were all American under that American flag. That's not my question. I don't give a damn how many 4-star generals dick you suck. Nick, was the shooting justified? Because we're trying to get some dialogue here. You have, at the time where I was at, DJ Genesis, she had over 34 people in the chat. And I had to ask the question, was the shooting justified? These conservatives are crazy.
That's how I was raised. You are better than, you have moral superiority. But I've also thought a lot about how I was indoctrinated religiously. It goes with victim shaming. Victim shaming and how I was raised go hand in hand. If there's a sexual assault, you blame what was being worn by the female so that you excuse the conduct of the man. Somehow she brought this on herself. So when I first saw this clip, that's where my head went to. She's victim blaming. He's exercising a constitutional right and she's victim blaming. Because the way I was raised, it's okay to do that because you would never be in that situation. And she says that if I were doing that, I would do it differently. I would do it better because I am better. So the victim shaming and blaming that we're seeing through all of this on the MAGA right makes me think of how I was raised with evangelical Christianity.
And it also makes me think about the way the IDF has treated Palestinians for years and that ICE is taking a play out of their playbook. They kill Palestinians and then say they were terrorists. Nobody really questions it. Western media certainly doesn't question it.
What about that, ladies and gentlemen? What about that? What about these people like Pam Bondi and I forgot what her name and Christy Knowles? They all say the same thing. And somebody put in a pattern where it was identical to what they were saying. He was a domestic terrorist. Don't put your hand on. He put his hand on our agents. He's a domestic terrorist. They all say the same thing. They say the same thing about Renee. She's a domestic terrorist. They all say the same thing. But I get it. In Nazi Germany, Hitler had you repeat, wash, rinse, and repeat all over again. And when he gave a speech, you either had to read. There are certain things you couldn't. There were certain things you said, and there are certain things you couldn't say. And if you were caught saying it, you were executed. Simply put, you were executed. Quite strange. Oh, before I forget, because I don't want to leave here without asking this question. Should I? And Barb, this is in your league. Should I do a panel on Sunday, because that's one of my only days off, should I do a panel with guests about this very same topic, this very same incident? Should I do that? I shouldn't I? This is not Nazi Germany. Well, what the hell is it? It's similar. Do whatever. It'll be dumb. So I shouldn't do it. I'm just saying we can just have the conversation about Alex Purdy. Yeah, about Alex Purdy, about Renee Good. Doesn't matter. We can even talk about Keith Porter. We can talk about Keith Porter. He was a victim of ICE too. I mean, I'll do it for shits and giggles, but this will but I'm doing this because it would determine if I'm going to be doing debates or not. Because if I'm going to be doing this, I want to if I'm going to be doing this, I want to see if my patience has. I mean, I can absorb certain things, certain words. It's just the ignorance. But I expect people to be ignorant, mostly white folks, because y'all motherfuckers are crazy. After I heard about the whole Charlie Kirk situation, which y'all like to scream in my chat, and which I don't know why you're screaming in my chat, Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk. I don't know who Charlie Kirk is, sir, ma'am. But it doesn't take but a couple of videos to see that he was prejudiced. So, okay. And he talked about Martin Luther King is talking about he should have a statue. Bullshit. You are not Martin Luther King, and you never will be, sir. None of you will never be Martin Luther King. But your boy had the nerve to take Martin Luther King's statue down. All because we took Robert E. Lee's statue down. Oh my God. I'm sorry, Charlie Kirk. Did I say Charlie Murphy? My bad. It just goes to show you, I don't know who he is. I guess it was the same person that Dean Withers beat in a debate. So he does debates. He does ignorant as he talks ignorant, but it was just debating. I guess. But Barb, this will be a perfect opportunity for you to come on up on the panel. Since you promised me you would. But either way, ignorance is bliss. And speaking of ignorant, well, she ain't ignorant. She ain't ignorant by any means, but if you talk ignorant, she will act ignorant. Let's see. As my wife is using the office, so sorry for the phone call, but I'm working on it. I am working on it.
Greg Abbott, you're a piece of shit. Ron DeSantis, you're a piece of shit. Both of you motherfuckers should be perp walked to the nearest fucking courthouse and locked up for kidnapping and human trafficking, because what you motherfuckers did, luring these undocumented immigrants to trains and planes and buses, promising them jobs and housing on the other side of these trips. is disgusting, unconscionable. It's crimes against humanity. This is not a fucking stunt. These are real people's lives that you're fucking with for no goddamn reason other than the fact that you goddamn evil. So, what needs to happen is all that smoke that you have for them, your ass need to get every bit of that smoke and be the fuck in jail. I don't want to hear nothing about no goddamn investigation. If this is not a crime to do what these people did, there's no such thing as fucking law and order in this country, point blank in the period. Lock them both the fuck up and throw away the goddamn key. Greg Abbott, you're a piece of shit. Ron?
Good Lord. I liked the way she did her. Did quite just nice. Quite nice. Starting to get worse. And they don't need guns. You're not supposed to have guns. It's a tragedy what happened, but you're not supposed to have guns. Don't have the guns. You're not supposed to have guns. Casualty. He had 2 clips. Or, he had an additional clip along with the other clip that was already chambered. You're not supposed to be violent. Well, he wasn't violent. Yeah, yes, he was. He touched the officer. Yeah, Second Amendment. What about the Second Amendment? You're not supposed to have guns. If you have a gun and it is chambered or it has rounds in it, and we find out about it, we're gonna come get you. Taking away free speech. Taking away your Second Amendment. I remember back in Lansing, Michigan, it was 3, maybe 4 years ago, where white motherfuckers were across the street from the Lansing police station at the Capitol with AR automatic assault rifles. Because of this very same comment. We're going to take away the... And didn't Donald Trump at the time, I think it was his first term, didn't Donald Trump at the time say, we will protect your Second Amendment rights? Didn't he say that? I remember him saying that. Now, back in office, you're not supposed to have guns. You're not supposed to have guns. It was a tragedy. You're not supposed to have guns. They were automatic. I have an AI or AR. That's an automatic and a semi-automatic doofus. Motherfuckers act like they know more than me. Semi or full. Does it make it do? I got both. I have both. Brad, you're gonna be on my shit list. You're gonna be on my shit list because you think you know more than me. Dude, you know how many guns I got? Do you know how many guns I have that can do both? I mean, I click on it, it's semi-automatic. If I flip it up, it's full automatic. Thank you. You think you know more than me? Yeah, I shot him at the range. It's fun. It is so fun. It is so fun. No, I just think you're stupid. I just think you're fucking stupid. Gotta be a Trump supporter. But All Trump supporters are stupid. All Trump supporters and all Trump supporters pivot. They all pivot and they all run away. They all run away from a question. And the question is, just like this conservative idiot the other day, was the shooting justifiable? Yes or no? And is it, well, we have to look at this. I don't know. Well, I got to look at the situation. Because he had a gun. I mean, he had a gun on him. So he had a gun on him. When I say you're running, I don't mean running as in running away from the live. I mean running away or pivoting from a particular question that's being asked by anti-Trump supporters. Y'all always run. Y'all always go to look. Was the shooting justified? Yes or no? I'm gonna ask you. Was the shooting justified? Yes or no? I'll wait. All gun supporters should have permits. That'd be dangerous. I don't want y'all to get in trouble. Over here, you don't have to have a permit. But if it's concealed, you have to show it. This is another form of a pig. Yeah, you got that partially right. I just call them Nazis. I call them straight Nazis. Pig is an old 1990s term. But let me not say that because Donald Trump might get a hold of this and he, oh my God. Oh my God. If you say something, and that's another thing. If I call who was that freak looking white boy, look like a I think he's like head of Homeland Security. He look like a damn pedo. If you say something about our ICE agents being terrorists or whatever he said, it's like we will come find you. Well, come find me then. I'm calling you every name in the my biggest one, Nazis. Damn, Barb, you know all these damn names. Barb is on it. Everybody give Barb my friend here. Give her 4 pumps up. Give her 4 fists up. She knows everybody. She is an archive. She is the architect. I'm gonna call her the architect. Whenever I need some information, I'm gonna go to the architect. Yeah, but we're talking shit. Literally, again, taking away free speech. You can't say that they're terrorists. You can't say that they're this, that, and this, and the third, but yet they are repeating the cycle of what's mainly going on in wars today. And back then. People keep asking me, why do you keep citing Nazi Germany? Well, if you read into Nazi Germany in 1933, you will see a similar patterns of what happened back then, minus or a little bit of minus of what's going on right now, because I don't see them burning babies. I don't see them killing, well, they are kidnapping babies. They are kidnapping 5-year-olds, but I don't see them burning babies. I mean, you should have listened to J.D. Vance. He was so concerned as a father. He was so concerned. He was like, oh man, we would never dare kidnap a child, but yet he had a father who was an illegal immigrant. Well, why don't you leave the fucking father alone? He was an illegal immigrant. Ooh. And we had to go but he ran away. He ran away from his responsibilities. Yeah, I would run too if I saw you coming. I would run too. And I would tell that boy, it's like, hey, peace. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. But my reaction is, I'm scared. Run. You got a mama. Run. But they both got taken into custody. Why would you take a 5-year-old into custody and damn near had him, a minor, sign some papers, some documents for them to be seen? And you're taking them somewhere in Texas, somewhere in the state of Texas, where it, in some type of concentration camp where it's just brutal. Send them home or send the child home. You don't give a damn about that child. You know why? Because it don't look like you. You don't care about the child because it doesn't talk like you. It's very simple. In Nazi Germany, if you weren't a German, they what? Offed you. It's very simple. These people have gone too far, but yet Trump supporters, y'all prejudice. Y'all some prejudiced human beings. And sad to say, some of my people are damn near stupid. Just stupid. Because they want a seat at the fucking table. Let me tell you, FBA motherfucker, something. You are now a league of your own. If I had something to do with it, you would be declared out of the black community forever. All because it's either reparations or you want to sit at the table. Let me ask you a question. What would happen if all the immigrants were out, legal or illegal, whether they were out, whether they were shipped on, whether they were gone? All of them are gone. All of them gone. None of them seen. None of them were left. What is stopping white folks from kidnapping your black ass? Stupid. You seen what they did to Keith Porter, right? A black man minding his own damn business. You seen what they did to these other black Americans, dragging them in the trucks, dragging them into that black truck? Stupid. It's plain stupid. It's all about our lineage. You don't even know what your lineage is. You haven't built nothing. What have you built? What have you built, buy, trade, or sell that's any of significance to this day? You talk about the branding of a boot that was made by a white person, but Biggie Smalls and others made it famous. You didn't build that, sucker. You didn't build anything of significance. Did you know that Booker T. Washington was a Pan-African? Booker T. Washington actually, if it wasn't for him, y'all wouldn't, your ants, you wouldn't have the smarts today. I'll just say that. You wouldn't be able to read. But then again, most of you motherfuckers don't even know how to read any goddamn way. And yes, Barb, I read your question. All you ignorant motherfuckers is just going off the deep end, begging and pleading for Trump to give you something. Begging and pleading for most of these white folks, even Biden at one point, to give you something. Y'all haven't learned y'all lesson yet. Just last man. What did that lady say? Hold on. I want to know what Angela's. I think her name was Angela. She said the very thing that these Negroes. Hold on. It was, oof, it was brutal. That debate was brutal. Let me see. So should I do it? I should just do it just for the heck of it. I should just do a live stream, but none of y'all ain't gonna come up anyway. None of you are gonna come up. None of you are gonna show up. But I'm just gonna do this. I am going to. I think it's this one.
Strongly anti-Trump. So,
No, I don't think it's this one.
are you now strongly anti?
Nope, that's not this one.
So then, why is this not enough to stop supporting the United
Is it?
Your congressmen and women to impeach him today, so that tomorrow we could have a new administration, impeach the whole administration. So tomorrow we could have a new head of the.
No, I don't think it's this one. Well, I gotta play this real quick. Hold on.
Calling law enforcement names like Gestapo or using the term kidnapping. That is a choice that is made. There are actions and consequences that come from those choices. And then when you choose, when someone chooses to listen to a politician, a so-called journalist, a community leader that spouted that type of vilification towards law enforcement or anything else, when you choose to listen to that, that is a choice, and there are consequences and actions there also. I think we saw that yesterday.
You're watching The Legal Breakdown, Glenn. That was Greg Bovino, who is in charge of Customs and Border Patrol, basically offering up this idea that if you call federal agents kidnappers or a Gestapo, that there will be consequences. So is there any legality to what he's saying here?
No, because first of all, they're acting like Gestapo and they are kidnapping people. Let me say it again.
Oh, so it was Gestapo. My bad. It was Gestapo, kidnappers. Yeah, I get it. All right. No, just calling you Nazi. No, I have to call you kidnapper. That's too vague of a word. Nazi. It's very simple. It's straight and to the point. Live stream with a panel. Yeah. Just have a panel with a couple of people. You know it ain't gonna be a couple of people, Barb. If this is hot, you know it ain't gonna be with a couple of people. But I'm open of all hope that it's just gonna be a couple of people. But then again, like last time, when I said some shit about Nick Fuentes and white folks and a few black folks here and there got super sensitive and started playing with their buttholes, it got wild. It got wild. So we'll see. We'll see. Talk about a few topics of ICE, and you wanted me to talk with black folks about ICE and white folk. It's like, well, I will write it down. I will definitely write it down. I will definitely write that down. I'll do, I have a couple of topics in mind, Barb, but I'll I'll keep in my head about what you about your ideal of topic. So I'll keep in mind of that.
We've seen them kidnap people, including American citizens who they put in a jail cell for a day or two. Then they open the cell door, let them walk out, and they're not charged with anything. Why? Because there was no basis to take them into custody in the first place. When you take somebody into custody, when you detain them with absolutely no lawful basis or authority, you know what we prosecutors call that? Kidnapping, right? Sometimes we call it false imprisonment. So it's insane that a guy like Bo Vino is doing what he is doing. He and his by citizens on their cell phones. It looks like they are acting like the Gestapo. It looks like they are kidnapping people. And indeed, based on the reporting, they actually are. But he says, don't you dare use those words to criticize us. You know, it's beyond a First Amendment free speech violation. It is a fantasy land that he's living in. And I mean, the only good news, Brian, is the courts continue to hold strong, and there's no court in the country, I don't care who appointed the federal judge, who would say that that's right. If Bovino says the citizenry can't use certain words to describe them, we're just going to go ahead and let Donald Trump's DOJ charge those people with federal crimes for using. That is effing ridiculous. Just
They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to listen to me. Because we are not, as one guy would put it, we're in the federal government's crosshairs. You fuck with the federal government. That's your ass. I don't know why these people are protesting. It's just a waste of time. You go on out there if you want to. Go outstairs. All you gonna end up is like the guy that got shot. Go ahead. Go ahead. All your butts need to stay home. All you need to stay home. You don't have to listen to a words I say. When you do that, when you go out there and interfere in federal government business, this is what you get. They don't operate under Trump law. They operate under the federal government. The federal government don't give a damn about you because you interfering about what's going on. You interfering in what they have for these billionaires out here. Not millionaires, but billionaires. They wants to make a new world order. A new world orders with a one world government. 'World 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 government. They don't, obviously, they don't care. Samantha, they don't care. And I'm telling you, they don't care. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. It's all about money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Bitcoin. Now, this is the problem with Bitcoin. People are getting paid off of that Bitcoin. But do you see a physical results? Not physical, sorry. In other words, do you see a physical coin? No, you have a wallet. You have a wallet. Okay, you give up. The rest is up. The rest of us will resist. No, I'm not telling you to give up. No, I'm gonna give. What do we have to give? Samantha, come here, come here, come here a second. Come here a second. Come here a second. Come give me a hug. Give me a hug. There you go. There you go. There you go, Samantha. Come here, baby. Come here, come here. I don't know if you're white, black. No disrespect, but I don't know if you're white or black or whoever. If you're white, then I will say that you need to start calling these people out. You really do need to start calling these people out. You really need to start calling these white supremacists out. If you are black, however, here's what I will say to you. You own and control shit. I'm going to say this as simple as I possibly can. You own and control shit. You don't have land. You don't have a place where you call home. This home that I live in right now is temporary because I don't own any land here. The only land that I own is back in Arkansas. I own a piece of land in Arkansas. This land in Vegas, I don't own this land in Vegas. You need something that will generate money, that will generate resources. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? If you are black, now I don't know if you're black or white, but if you are white, you got every resources in the world that was stolen. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. You have every resource in the world. I don't know. I have to ask my family down who live down there. I don't know if they have property tax or not. I have to ask my cousin Aaron about that shit. But anyway, apparently, because there's three of us, but in order our uncle owns his portion. I own my portion because both my parents are dead. And then my oldest cousin, both her parents are dead, so she has her portion. The only person that has partial her portion is my cousin who's in back of me, if that makes any sense. So, where was I at? Oh, yeah. If you are black, Samantha, if you are black, if you ain't generating nothing but a bunch of nonsense, if you don't control a little bit of something, if you at least don't have anything, if you don't have a home base to go to, just in case you have to go to it and regroup. What can I tell you? I mean, this has been going on for 40, 50, 60 years now. And it doesn't matter what government has been under. There have been people who have been fighting for black people in this country to be competitive. He missed it. What I was saying was, I don't know, Samantha, if you were white or black. If you were white, then you have to stand up. You're the ones that has to stand up for Trump. You're the one that has to stand up for Trump, and you're the one. Yeah, okay. Well, then you're the one that has to call out these people for who they really are. If you believe in peace, and you believe in tranquility, if you believe in justice, if you believe in justice for all, if you believe in God, and God bless America, you will stand up to a person like Trump through legal means, not illegal, legal means. But right now, unless a couple of state senates turn blue, we're fucked. That's pretty much it. We're fucked. God bless our president. You're an idiot. Well, let me not say that. You're misinformed. You're definitely misinformed. You're definitely misinformed. You know what I would do to Trump if I were to see him in Las Vegas, Nevada, which most likely you won't see him. Those little flags that they usually sell, I'll go right up to him, flick the lighter, burn that motherfucker right in his face. It's like, I dare you to do something to me. I dare you. You know, there's people here that hate Trump's guts. There's people here in the state of Nevada that hate his guts. Same as New York. There are people in New York who hate his guts. But there's nothing they can do to him because he's the president. Of all the deals that he made, all the so-called business deals that went south, they own him for that. But people love him, and people respect him for what means. I have no idea. If law could get him the Democrats would have it by now. Well, it's January, so we'll see. Why are there people in Nevada who hate Trump so much? I just told you, because of the deals that he brokered, and I think one of the most specific reasons why Trump hotel, they took away his gambling license. They took away his gambling license here. He no longer he hasn't owned that piece of shit in years. I remember that Cybertruck that came in there and bombed well, it wasn't bombed. It was, it was some stuff that he had. You know what? Come to think about it, I think that was a bombing. I think there was a bombing when that Cybertruck went in the Trump Towers and blew it. It did a half-ass job. Like, ugh. It just shattered some windows. That's all it did. Shattered some broken windows. Hello. Hey. Hey, how you been? Marcella, how you been? It's been a while. How you been, sweetheart? But yeah, they're gonna get their just due.
I'm joined now by the Attorney General of Minnesota, Keith Ellison. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks, Brian. Glad to be with you.
So we've just witnessed two high-profile killings now in Minneapolis. This is Renee Good and Alex Preddy. We've also seen that the Department of Homeland Security seems hell-bent on making sure that state investigators don't get access to any of the evidence, any of the crime scenes, and on and on. How confident are you, or can you offer some commitment here that state investigators will in fact be able to investigate what's gone on despite the best efforts of DHS to prevent that?
We will.
I know he owns all three branches. The Senate, the courts, I know he owns all three branches. But that doesn't mean, it does not mean that somebody can hold the Supreme. You need somebody that holds the Supreme Court accountable. You need somebody that can hold Donald Trump and his administration accountable. And you know who can do that? Senates. You see, each and every single time, and you know this as well as I do, each and every single time he makes a decision, it has to go through the House. And through the House, it goes through the Senate. And then the Senate makes the decision, the final decision, and they relate it back to Trump or to say yes or no. See, we would call holding, and he has gone above the law. So he has violated sanctions, which they had told him no, but he's gone above the law anyway. And there's nothing they can do to him because he has immunity. So therefore, let him keep on racking. Let him keep on racking these charges. And as soon as those Senates, I think we need 6 or maybe 7 seats to turn blue in the Senate, he's impeached. I think we need, you know what I think we need? We need, Samantha? I think we need another No Kings protest rally. Peaceful rally. I think we need a peaceful rally. But and after that, there's something must come after that. I'm going straight to the House, a Congress, and I'm demanding impeachment for Pam Bondi, Donald Trump, Cash Mateo, Christy Knowles, all of them. All of them got to go. All of them got to go. Well, let me ask you one final question, Samantha. Are you married? And is your husband white? Are you married is your husband white?
Do every single thing we can, and we are doing every single thing we can to do a full, complete investigation. That includes going to court last Saturday and yesterday to get a court order to preserve, protect, and prohibit from alteration
any evidence secured at the Preddy crime scene. We're also moving out, and I can't go into detail, Brian, but I can tell you that we are moving to obtain more evidence in the possession of the federal government, and that they have no legitimate.
Question: is he a Trump supporter? Because most of them are. Is he a Trump supporter? It's like this. You have people who are married and the majority are getting divorces. You know why? Because one's a Democrat and one's a Republican. It shouldn't make no fucking difference. It shouldn't make no damn difference, but you're getting a divorce. Not the majority, the minority of people are getting, minority of people are getting divorces. Some people are getting kicked out of their homes because of, I'm not a Trump supporter. You're not a Trump supporter, whether you know it or not. Because I shouldn't be getting kicked out of my house all because I support or I'm an anti-supporter. Why am I doing that? Because of the rights and liberties in the country and yours. Whatever. So we don't want it to end up with that. So since he's not a Trump supporter, you two married would be a great asset to what will happen if you would combine strengths with other majority people. Combining strengths, I'm talking about 5,000, 10,000 strong. $5,000, 10,000 strong, you can make noise. Millions, you can make progress. But it also has to come from another source. I'm talking about sources from out of town, sources of like what happened last time. Make as many phone calls a day. Start getting in people's ears. Start getting on people's nerves. Get to your mayor, get to your senator, get to your congressman. Start getting on their nerves. Say, this is not what I signed up for. I did not sign up for this madman to do what he does, even though he doesn't. It's not most of his decision. We all know who makes the real decisions, but let me not tell you that. What do you mean change your mindset? You talking specifically to me, or you're talking specifically to everybody else? And I do agree, people need to change their mindset. We got to vote. Of course, yes, we got to vote. You got to vote. Why do I need to change my mindset? My mindset is simple. Our people are under attack. Our people are in danger. It has nothing to do with your people. But yet, if you want to live in a peaceful America, quote unquote, which we all know America ain't peaceful, all of it starts with you. Otherwise, we can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the fireworks. Because we all know Donald Trump doesn't give a damn about us. Donald Trump doesn't give a damn about black folks. Donald Trump does not give a damn about black folks. We all know all that. We're used to Trump. Us Gen Xers, we're used to Trump. We're used to Trump being a piece of shit. Did you hear what he said about his own daughter? Ooh, We all know as black folks, we would never think anything sexual about our own daughters, our own seeds. We wouldn't even think anything about sexualizing a 10-year-old kid, let alone says some of the stupidest shit ever. I know you're 10 years old, but when you grow up, you're going to be mine. Some stupid shit. Be careful, you know the Jew. You know how much landish shit I've said over the years? Jew. But I hear, and don't quote me on this, but I hear there's different sets of Jews or something. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody told me there was a different set of Jews that owned and controlled not only Israel but owned and controlled America. I don't know. I don't know. If you're a Jew, you're a Jew that owns and controls this. I don't know any other specific Jew. I think I need to reread again. I think it was Wesley Muhammad's book, uh, the relationship between blacks and the Jews. I think I need to reread that. Good book. Good book. Good book.
Basis to state that they're not investigating the death of Renee Good and then refuse us access to the evidence. There's no legitimate position that could justify that behavior. That speaks to cover up. And in the United States, when somebody is killed, use of force, death investigation, it's normal, natural, and regular for there to be a joint investigation and for the federal government at the Department of Justice Civil Rights to do the investigation along with state authorities. They've refused to do that. Todd Blanchard said there will be no investigation. So how now can they say they're going to deny us access to that information? So I can assure you there is nothing that can deter us from getting to the bottom of this and getting to the truth.
You know, there were a number of officials in the Department of Justice at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minnesota who left the job in the aftermath of DHS's refusal to investigate Jonathan Ross, the ICE agent who killed Renee Good. Is there any cooperation with these folks who are now out of the DOJ? Is there any effort to bring them into to the BCA or into any state office that's investigating this, so that they can still use some of the knowledge that they have? And obviously these are folks who were looking to take a righteous enough stand that they weren't willing to sit back while the DOJ was engaged in the cover-up. So clearly they have some willingness to want to do good work. They just weren't going to be able to do it at the DOJ.
Well, let me tell you, I mean, these are all very talented people. I mean, to get it there, it's a pretty prestigious place to work. And so there's a lot of talent there. Whether or not they'll be integrated into what their next move is, I can't tell you right now. I can tell you that when Trump started, there was an exodus then, and we ended up hiring 4 people from Department of Justice, and we're very pleased that they're with us right now. I've counted 10 people who have quit in connection with the failure to act responsibly in the Renee Good matter. Where these people land, I don't know, but I can tell you they're gifted, talented, and you and I can see they got some integrity.
In terms of the ability for state investigators to continue with a potential prosecution, even though they're not getting any access to any evidence, I mean, if you were to bring any information to a grand jury in the state of Minnesota, the bar, if I'm not mistaken, is for to secure a grand jury indictment is probable cause. Is that correct?
That is right.
I mean, you've already got that with the public videos that are available. So even if DHS isn't giving you access to any of the evidence at the crime scene, I mean, we've seen publicly available videos that are certainly exceed that threshold. And so, is there going to still be an effort, even with the evidence that we have publicly available, to secure, to move forward with investigations and possible prosecutions, given what we've got access to already?
Well, Ryan, I wouldn't agree that a videotape makes for a prosecution. I mean, I prosecuted the people who killed George Floyd, and I knew, based on my 36 years of being a lawyer, that you couldn't just push play and win. It doesn't work like that. And if you're not a lawyer and you haven't never tried a case, you may not quite understand all the tricks that the defense counsel can pull, and they're not tricks, they're due process, okay? But I would say I would not agree that it's just some easy thing, easily done, push play button, you win. That's not true. And so I get a little nervous when I hear people say that, because it's like, oh, your job is nothing and you don't really have. This is enormously difficult work to do, and it's gonna. And if you really want to, if you want to just not do more than just get an indictment or a charge, if you actually want to convict somebody, you got to give us the room to work. And saying that, oh, this is easy, this is nothing, just use the video. We're going to use the video. And I also want to correct one other thing, which is that we do have evidence other than. I mean, it's not like we don't have any evidence.
Yeah.
We have a whole portal that the Hennepin County Attorney's open and that the Attorney General's open, and we are getting critical evidence from the public every day, and the BCA is cataloging and documenting and storing evidence all the time. And we may yet get the cooperation from the feds that we need. We don't know. We're not going to foreclose the possibility. But what I wanted to say is that, one, this is not easy. Two, it is worth doing right the first time. Three, however happy you feel when there's an indictment or a charge, if we get there, and as a prosecutor, I have to put it like that, okay? You will be much happier if we convict the person.
Yeah.
And so let's stay in the long game. I'm telling you, from the moment that George Floyd was killed till the time that we got the conviction was not an overnight thing.
Yeah.
But I think everybody in retrospect would say it was worth getting it right. So what I'm saying is that when it comes to Pretty and Good, no one has ever accused me of being afraid or reluctant to pursue justice. And I'm absolutely going to do that. And I'm going to do it with the partnership of the Hennepin County Attorney's Office, Mary Moriarty, and with the help of the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension.
You know what that tells me? It tells me, and I might be wrong about this. It just tells me that there's nothing. I mean, unless you have so much evidence, so many receipts, nothing is going to work unless those seats turn blue. Unless the seats turn blue, you can have all the evidence in the world, and it's not going to even matter. Donald Trump has 34 convictions underneath his belt, and look where he's at right now. That's what it tells me. Vote. That's all I can tell you. You fight. I mean, I salute y'all who have the guts who go into the streets and testify that this isn't right. Linking up with other folks and saying that this isn't right. But as soon as you blink, tear gas is in your face. And that's all because the police departments, at least you could talk to the police. I can't believe I'm giving them credit. At least you could talk to the police. You can't talk to federal agents that work for the government. The police work for the state. These people work for the federal government. There's a difference. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to Larry, I have no problems with the protesting. It's not that's not what I'm worried. That's not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is what's going to happen afterwards. What are we going to do after the protesting? Are we going to fly out to Washington and let them feel our wrath, and or are we going to start building organizations for ourselves, or are we going to support those people who are democratic, who are, how do I say it? So, for example, Jasmine Crockett. How are we going to support her? We can't vote her in because we're not in the state of Texas. However, we can support her with our dollars. Right? We can support her with our dollars. Which I'm hoping through all hope that she gets that seat. I'm hoping through all hope. I'll do what I can. Hopefully y'all do the same. No, Larry, let her act ignorant. That's what most white people do. They just act ignorant. Act ignorant in their thinking. But yet something happens in her family. She's gonna pick up that phone and she's gonna start yapping away. So let her act ignorant. If you want peace, if you say that it's not about race, if you say it's not about color, if you say it's not about anything else other than us getting along under the same umbrella, then you will do your justice in shutting the hell up and doing your justice and letting Trump know that he's a piece of shit. You will do your justice and letting white supremacy know that they're full of shit. Other than that, I don't know what else to tell you. We all know through trials and tribulations, those who are black, we all know our trials and tribulations with white supremacy here in the States and in everywhere else. You just acting as like this is just ha 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 whatever. And I have seen many debates throughout the past couple of weeks, and like I said, some of you are delusional. Y'all are delusional as fuck, and it's not even funny anymore. How can you say that, for example, Renee's shooting was justified? That just tells me that apparently racism still exists. That's what it tells me. That's just what it tells me. Democracy is on the line. Absolutely. Absolutely. What are you willing to do? This is my final question. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? Unless y'all raise hell, unless y'all raise Cain, what are you willing to do? What did you do after the protest? Those are just words. What did you do after the protest? This ain't my fight. This is yours. I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Biden either. So what are you willing to do? You want peace in America, right? Y'all want peace in America. What are you willing to do? So Larry, was the shooting justified? Was the shooting justified? Yes or no? And see, you weren't here. You weren't here when I said that there was this conservative. He was, 4-star general or whatever, and he was talking about his accomplishments and how people can have the same, can coexist under the same American flag. I said, was the shooting justified? I could care less about your accomplishments. Number one, your accomplishments aren't mine. And for the simple fact that you are a black man in a white man's army, what, that's irrelevant. Was the shooting justified? Yes or no? He didn't want to answer the question. So I told him, you automatically had submitted that the shooting was justified just for you not answering my question. No, there are specific laws you can put in place for ICE to say, stop. Hell, they try arresting police officers, undercover police officers on the street. They try arresting people that work for the state. You willing to work? You willing to put in the work? Let me know. Otherwise, sit back and relax. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Ocean, I just hope I don't see you on the news. Well, let me not say that because I don't even know. I don't know behind the avatar. I just hope. I just hope and pray that it's not you, because you've been talking a whole bunch of shit lately in this chat. I could kick your punk ass off a long time ago, but I'll let it rock. And because I like opinions. Certain opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. ICE is good. ICE is good for the people. What about Charlie Kirk? Or people are also are white supremacy. I said that wrong. Shit, I said it wrong. Um, People are crying and pissing and moaning and holding a ceremony. Holding a ceremony on Charlie Kirk. But you know what was worse? You know what was worse than all of that is to see Nicki Minaj talking with Erica Kirk. That killed it for me. I said, no, 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 no. A fine princess like that. I guess you need to bail your boyfriend out of jail. I guess you need to bail that boyfriend out of jail. Or excuse me, your husband. By the way, isn't he a sex offender? Just saying.
Miss Marty and Dia.
I do not want to hear from you.
Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. There is a MAGA civil war brewing. I don't know if you could feel that energy. I don't know if it's a sickness, a sadness, or hopefulness, depending upon what is going to happen. But it involves Stephen Miller, Mitch.
Husband, not boyfriend, husband.
Creeps me out. We need to talk about him. And it involves him and this tweet, this disgusting tweet from a disgusting individual. Moments after someone was killed at the hands of our own government, Stephen Miller decided to say an assassin tried to murder federal agents, and this is your response. Yes, he called Alex Preddy an assassin. An assassin. Well, that type of rhetoric, it turns out, came straight from the top, came from Stephen Miller, instructed the way that everyone else in the White House talked about it, and now everyone's pointing fingers. Kristi Noem, for instance, is leaking. She's leaking her ass off. She's talking to reporters, trying to play the blame game and trying to get this man thrown under the bus. This man is throwing Kristi Noem under the bus. And Melania Trump is mad at all. Let's get right into it. First, Donald Trump, oh man, this is so good. Donald Trump held a 2-hour meeting with Kristi Noem amid backlash to Minneapolis shooting. Now, the way that Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski, who Kristi Noem is allegedly sleeping with, the way that they framed this was that they actually wanted to have the meeting. No. This was them getting reprimanded by Trump. And here's a little bit about what we know. President Trump met Monday evening in the Oval Office with Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary, and Corey Lewandowski, her top aide, for nearly 2 hours as his administration tries to shift the strategy after federal agents killed a second Minneapolis resident over the weekend, according to 2 people briefed on the meeting. The meeting came after Ms. Noem requested to see the president, the people said, speaking on the condition of anonymity to discuss a private meeting. Okay, there's only so many people in that room, okay? So it's Corey Lewandowski, it's Kristi Noem, Trump, and then Susie Wiles, I believe Caroline Leavitt was in that meeting, but you know who wasn't there? Stephen Miller, iced out. Now, they're saying that Trump did not suggest during the meeting that either Noem's or Lewandowski's jobs are at risk, but who's to say if that's true or not? But as it says here, this is the latest sign that Donald Trump is obviously worried about what has happened. The Oval Office meeting included Trump's top aides, including Susie Wiles, Caroline Leavitt, Stephen Chung, but as I said, Stephen Miller was not there. So again, like there's only like, so who do you think leaked that? Let's just like use our power of imagination. It's either Kristi Noem, Corey Lewandowski. Do you think Susie Wiles would leak this? Caroline Leavitt, Stephen Chung? I don't think so. Stephen Miller? I don't think so. Perhaps. Regardless, there's a blame game going around at the White House, as I said, and Axios has the scoop on it. Okay, so it says here that
Kristi Noem is under fire for misleading and incendiary information that claimed immigration agents killed an armed Minnesota protester Saturday because he wanted to, quote, massacre them. Okay, now that language has become a source of controversy in the Trump administration. And as you can see here, this is language that both Kristi Noem and Greg.
Now listen to listen to the video. Listen to the similarities.
Bombino said moments after the shooting.
An individual
approached
U.S.
U.S.
Border
Border
Patrol
Patrol officers
with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun.
The officers attempted to
The agents attempted to disarm the
but the armed
individual,
suspect
but he
reacted
violently resisted.
Okay, so they both have the same exact
See what I mean?
speech, literally the same exact words, that obviously came from someone at the top. Now, okay, also, this report from Axios has an anonymous source that I think we can all assume that only Kristi Noem would have an interest in getting this out, and two would have the information that we're about to read here. White House officials are blaming Customs and Border Patrol for furnishing inaccurate information, while others are targeting Stephen Miller, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff and top Trump advisor. 6 sources with knowledge of the situation told Axios. Noem said here, everything I've done at the direction of the president and Stephen. Noem said, okay, so that's pretty blatant. We're getting some more information too, saying that moments after the shooting, officers directly involved in the shooting all shut up and got lawyers real quick, so there wasn't a lot of information. The CBP officers on the ground furnished a report that the White House officials told Axios left officials with the belief that Preddy had brandished a gun. Miller, quote, heard gun and knew what the narrative would be. Preddy came to massacre cops. The source briefed on the process of assembling the press statement said. Again, like, who would have that information? Who would have that information want to leak it?
So, in other words, if it came from the top and not from Trump, then apparently something is wrong. But then again, I might be looking at it in another way. I don't know what y'all think. Because if they are getting orders instructing Kristi Noem and Greg, whoever, to say these similar things, we are in deep trouble. Because they don't answer to nobody but the top of the food chain. We might as well just say elitists. You heard what happened to Kendra Jenkins, girl found dead in a hotel. Nope, never heard of it. But we can look it up. Was she a black woman or a white? What? I mean, you had to give out full details. This people keep throwing stuff at me, and I'm like, I don't know these people. Like, people would keep constantly throwing King Von my way. I was like, I don't know who King Von is. Well, let's see. I don't know this one. Definitely like again. I'm gonna ask this again, and I'm gonna give some thought. No, I forgot. I gotta ask the architect. Architect, do you know what she's talking about? Architect, are you here? Architect, oh, there you are. I wasn't even looking. No, I don't want Kenny G. Ooh. Some of you people are ignorant as hell. Oh, her name just came up. Just came up. This was 8 years ago. You talking about this one? Is she drunk? Okay. Hmm. Hmm. My boy, Poetic Flocko, will know.
But Kanika Jenkins' murder mystery is resurfacing 8 years later, and these new updates is really sad. Like, it broke my heart even reviewing all the footage that I reviewed to even make this video. Let's just do a brief recap real quick on who Kanika Jenkins is for anybody who's not caught up. Kanika Jenkins was a girl who died in 2017. Now, her death was so viral and polarizing because it was a literal mystery. Her and her friends were on live, partying in a hotel, drinking, and everything played out online. And then the next morning, Kanika Jenkins was nowhere to be found. And then ultimately, we found out that she was found dead.
It is the sound of a mistake that costs nothing if you were in a warm house. But in the bowels of a massive hotel at 3:30 in the morning, it is the sound of a death sentence. Kanika Jenkins didn't vanish into thin air. She didn't get snatched by a man in a van. She vanished into a building. She was surrounded by 2,000 guest rooms.
Kanika and her friends were leaving the party. Now, while they were leaving the party, someone was going back into the room to grab something. While in the shuffle of things, Kanika mystery begins. Because as she walks off, she disappears. She goes into blind spots where there's no cameras. So nobody knows exactly what happened. But the official theory or the official cause of death, according to the police, is when she walks off, she walks to the kitchen and walks into a freezer. And ultimately, she locks herself into the freezer, even though the freezer like can't be locked from the inside. Like you could be able to just open up the freezer and walk out. But police says because she was drunk, she didn't realize that, and she ultimately fell asleep and died from being in the frost, being in the freezer.
She was surrounded by security cameras.
I have to look that up. I had to do some investigating myself. It's the same. It's the same thing that I did for not Sandra Bland. Robinson. I forgot what her name was. The one that got killed in damn, now I gotta be. I did so many videos on this one girl. I totally forgot. Oh, goodness gracious. Her name escapes me. I don't know why. How about this? I can do this real quick. As a matter of fact, I can do this. Hold on 1 second. The Robinson murder. There it goes.
Tonight we move on to these new details in the case of Shanquilla Robinson after WCNC shot.
Not just her, but not the Shaquille murder. Not her murder. It's something similar. I'll have to look it up. I've covered so many particular stories about Black women missing or Speaking of which, the Anderson murder. There it is. The Maxwell Anderson. Her name was Sade Robinson. Sade Robinson. I covered the Sade Robinson murder months ago. Sad and tragic. Sad and very, very sad and a very, very tragic murder. Of course, she met her white boyfriend, her white friend that she supposedly met online. A 33-year-old. She was 19, just graduated, had a future. Next thing you know, they went over to his house. She seen something that she shouldn't have seen. She got murdered instantly. And then afterwards, he carved up her body and threw her in the Michigan River. It was very tragic indeed. But things are not the same as it was. And we need to be careful. We need to be careful, and we need to do a lot of shit. I'm just so confused. But this is what I will do. I'll think on Sunday. As a matter of fact, I might just even do it. To see if any of you are going to show up. If you don't show up, then I'll just end up doing something else. But if you want to do it, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to let people up and have the conversation. If you're not going to come up on the stream, I'm not going to sing. I'm not just going to put in the link just to put in the fucking link. You either going to show up and we going to have the conversation. I just don't want no bullshit. Yeah, I mean, I don't want no bullshit. No. Listen, if you're a Trump supporter, be that Trump supporter. I don't care. But let's have a respectable dialogue. I'm gonna have those. And if you want to, and if you want to stay in the chat, stay in the chat. Type away. But I got them snipers in the chat also. Anybody who's disrespectful, any type of slurs, Barb and Lisa and others will be quick to be on the trigger and get you up out of here for good. We're doing abandonments this time. I could care less about your feelings. Fuck your feelings. We're trying to have a respectable dialogue, and like I said, I will do it. Barb, pray for me. Please pray for me. Let us know when. Let us know when to be on duty, and we'll be there. Or I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I already put up. I already put up in my. I already put it up in my post. I already put it up in my post. I'll put it up again. I'll put it up again with some rules. I will put it up again with some rules, and I will definitely let Lisa know. Open kill. Best was all right. Raiders. Raiders. We own Oakland. We own not say own. Why do I say own? We have your Raiders. We have your Raiders. Your Raiders belong to us now. Give a damn about no damn Raiders. They can't even keep a coach. I don't know why, but don't feel bad because I used to be a Cowboy fan. So Cowboys and the Raiders, they're similar. They're very, very similar. So like I said, I will go ahead and I will put it on the post and I'll let y'all know when and what time we're going to be having these discussions about Renee Good and so on and so forth. If you want to talk about Trump, we can talk about Trump. If you want to talk about abortion, we can talk about abortion. If we want to talk about this, you want to talk about that. We can talk about anything you want. Just be respectful, please. For example, if I say, I want to talk about Nick Fuentes and how much of a contradictory punk he is. Let's just stick to that. Never mind me calling him a punk, but he's contradictory as hell. How the hell are you going to support some white supremacy and you're Mexican? You're Mexican American and you're supporting white supremacy? You are that. Yeah. I guess I could call Nick Fuentes the Mexican Clarence Thomas. I could call him the Mexican Clarence Thomas. But that's just an example. That's an example. So, like I said, we can talk about anything. We can talk about making good. We can talk about the guy that got shot. We can talk about anything you want, right? I just want to see if it works. And my method to my madness is if I can do some of these debates, but I don't know. I just don't know, but we will see. We will definitely see. All right. Starting to emerge. So I will definitely see you on Sunday. I will see all of you on Sunday. But if there's any other things that I would like to report on, don't be surprised if another video comes up. So thank you for the. It doesn't make a bigger sense. This is the craziest thing to me. But Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio they're Hispanics? Wait. Whoa, breaking news. I didn't know that Ted Cruz was an Hispanic. And Marco Rubio is Latin? But they're immigrants? Caping for white supremacy? So you had Nick Fuentes, Ted Cruz, and Marco Rubio. Wow. I didn't know. I didn't know Ted Cruz was an Hispanic. No, they will be labeled immigrants. They would be labeled an immigrant. They're just legal. I did not know that. See, this is what I'm saying. The architect be knowing some shit that I didn't even know about. Wow. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about all that soon enough. But I gotta go. Peace out.